Westchester, and we were playing pool, and PJ and Dunn were playing pool over there, and I just texted PJ. I texted him duck, and he starts going. And he was like, "You motherfucker, don't do that." He goes, "I didn't know what was going to happen."
Especially like when you're filming it, it's like you're on high alert. Even just a regular thing. I remember, after years after I came out, and I was getting into the production side of things, and I went into the Dick House office, and I forgot for a second, but then it was immediately like PJ came up, balls covered. Tremaine came up, balls covered. I was like, "Oh shit!" And then you just forgot. You just walked into a war zone. So.
We were filming in Florida, and they were doing. Cossack might have been taking them still photos, and they just put up a a cloth backdrop there, and we were all touching it and feeling it and checking it out. And stuff. And they're like, "It's cloth." And we're like, "What's on the other side of this damn cloth?"
Yeah, I don't trust a fucking soul.
Take it.
No, that's hilarious, man. I know, and it's such a good camaraderie with everybody too, and so funny. And I think what's rad about it though is the group, you can get away with fucking with each other. Where if you did that to just a random or someone who might even be a close friend but just isn't in that mindset, will get very annoyed quickly if something was happening.
Yeah.
People can't take it, but it's cool how that the group camaraderie of all of it can kind of.
There also used to be people we could trust inside of the cast, and now that's all out the freaking window.
Yeah.
You don't trust anybody.
Yeah, you had your safe guy, then not anymore. They found out who your safe person was, and then infiltrated that.
They told Wee Man to quit signaling. He's pulling on his ear and stuff.
Oh man,
we were filming. Phil Switcheroo at 2. We filmed it at 2 in the morning, the middle of the night there in Westchester. And Steve-O, of course, was up. He had the hotel room next to mine, and he heard me walk out of my room. And he comes out of there, 2 in the morning, completely naked, rock hard boner. And he's like, "Preston Lacy, where the hell are you going?" And I said, "Well, I got to go film." He goes, "We're filming, let's go." And I said, "No, we got to go film this thing with Bam's parents." He goes, "I'm in, let's do it." And I'm like, "No." And I'm like, "Why do you have a boner?" And he goes, "I was just watching some porn in my room." It was every day. And then Jeff was like, "Go back to bed, Steve-O, go back to bed." "Okay, let me know how it goes."
That's hilarious. We know you're ready to go.
And then, we snuck into Bam's parents' house, at night, and I was like, "This has got to be a double cross. What's going to happen? Am I going to get shot tonight?"
Yeah.
Or so there's going to be, is Phil going to have one of those, what do you call it, rock salt shotguns or something to shoot?
Yeah, exactly.
It felt so scary going into someone's home, in the middle of the night like that. It's like, ooh.
I don't know. Getting set up.
Yeah. I don't know how criminals could do it. I'm too much of a wuss.
That is a sketchy thing, because just that thought process of what if they do just think you're this intruder and and then bad shit happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's gnarly. I didn't really think about it from that perspective because, you're like, hey, you're just going in there. But
I wrote that idea and we couldn't tell Bam because we knew he'd shoot it before we even got there because it was so good with somebody else,
Yeah.
So I told him the night we got there, and he was like, "Damn, P, that is a good idea. That is a really good idea." And he stopped, and I could see he was thinking. He goes, "You're going to have to stick your hand down my mom's panties." And I'm like,
Jesus.
"No freaking way." He goes, "We're making a movie. Aren't you trying to make a good movie?" And I'm like, "I am not sticking my hands down your mother's underpants." And no other friend has ever asked me that or told me that ever.
Oh, my God, that's hilarious.
Jeez, so good.
Dude, I love we're making a movie. It's like, well, you were already crossing the line with getting in bed with her. He had to just stampede that line and make it some perverted.
It's so fun just watching his brain work,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're making a movie. It better be good.
Yeah, what are you talking about? You don't half-ass this.
Yeah, man, that's hilarious. So, well, thanks for coming on the podcast here, man.
No, I feel like we should talk about feces, though, because everybody else does at the beginning of the thing.
Keeping with the theme of the bathroom break, right?
Yeah.
Do you have some feces stories?
Nah, not really. I guess I have a little one. When I was doing speech and debate in high school, You do it in like during.
This is awesome already.
You do it like during school hours, you know.
Yeah.
And so I went to Kansas City, the big city where I'm from, and went into the bathroom. I had a suit on, you know, because I was doing speech and debate, and went into the bathroom, and it was just a row of toilets with no stalls, no anything. You know what I mean? Just like in the army or something, just a row of stalls. So my stomach was hurting. I was nervous, so I sat down there to do a number 2, and all of a sudden the bell rang, and that bathroom filled with teenagers in there, and they were making fun of me, calling me nerd and dork and stuff. I was pooping, and they kept looking at me, and I had to wipe in front of them. That was the worst part. You don't think about
wait. Hold on. Okay, I'm trying to get this visual. So there's no stalls.
No, it's just a row of toilets.
Toilets?
Yeah, it's a row of toilets, like in the army. And I didn't think anybody was going to be in there on something. They're pooping. And all of a sudden, I mean, there's been 30, 40 kids in there. You know, and just smart mouths.
That's
and,
awesome.
Oh, my God.
And you're trying to wipe in front of
Oh, that was the worst part, was doing the wipe. It's just, you just have to take it.
Oh, my
you know?
God. I mean, because you're like, I guess my mindset would be like, maybe I'll try and wait them out. Like, see, you know, like sit there. But then you're embarrassed because you're just sitting there, your dick, like, you know, because, so that's a good question. What do you do with your dick when you're sitting there? Like, some people tuck it in so it's not on the seat. Then some people put it on the seat. Then, you know.
It depends on the bowl shape.
Right.
I like it inside. Like, I prefer an elongated bowl.
Yeah.
But if it's not, sometimes I have to just flop them right there on the top.
Yeah.
In a public situation, it's gross.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I know, because they don't even have the lip on the front. It's like that part that doesn't have the seat, and it's always a lot of pubes and piss right on that part.
And
so it's so gross.
There's certain handicapped toilets that have a gap there, and if you don't pay attention to what you're doing, you pee right out on the floor. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, I hate those. Jeez, sit there and all of a sudden, what's going on?
Yeah. Oh man, that's.
I went to, and we were on the road at a casino in Pennsylvania, and I went into the bathroom and to use the urinal, and there was a handicap stall right next to me, and I could see there was somebody in there, and all of a sudden pee started kind of splashing on me and stuff, and I was like, oh man, there's some poor old man in there with a colostomy bag or something, you know?
Yeah.
And then the piss just started covering me, and I heard done. He
He just pissing on
Oh
you.
my God. I was like, I thought you were handicapped, man. I feel so bad for you.
Oh, that's amazing. So he's just in there giggling. Dude, I always loved that bit that he did when like, you know how like little kids would just take their pants all the way down when they're going to piss? And he did that. I remember the first time in this bar, Duffers in Westchester, 2 like big dudes at the urinal, and only the middle one was open, you know, and usually you don't want to go in the middle, but he just goes right in the middle, pulls his pants all the way down to the ground, ass, balls, everything hanging out, and he starts peeing, and they're all like, the dudes are like, what the fuck, you know, like it was like, you know, it was like this grown little kid, you know. But I always thought that bit was hilarious.
Yeah, I went to that place before when we were up there.
Yeah.
It's like a golf type theme, right?
Yeah, that's what they try to make, but there's no golf course anywhere near it. You know? Just an excuse to drink, really. But
is that where you're from? Are you from Westchester?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all grew up right in the same little area, and then that's how I like the CKY stuff, because Bam and Dunn and me and Jess and Rake and Brandon, all right in that little area. We all went to the same schools. Like
people always ask me about CKY, and I'm like, I just don't know. You know, I don't know the history of it. I don't know the future of it or anything. And they're like, you gotta tell us. And I'm like, I just don't know. It has such a cult following. You know?
It's crazy. I mean, I don't think there's any future of it, but yeah, it's like, you know, people do ask, like, oh, would you do another one? And it's like, I don't know. I mean, it'd be really hard to do that without Ryan.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it started out, you know, with, like, I always say, it's crazy kind of how it started, but it was, Phil, Bam's dad, had like an old VHS camera and was taping Bam for skateboarding, you know, for like his sponsor me tapes kind of thing. And because that camera's around, Bam grabbed it and was like, yo, let's make a skit. And we'd make these stupid little skits. And over the years, it just kept adding up. And before you knew it, he had so much footage. And then, like, of just crazy, like, you know, Brandon DiCamillo doing prank calls and freestyle raps, and then little like bits, and then jumping off of a building and all that randomness. And then that's what, like, the first one Bam kind of edited together, because Landspeed, his sponsor for skateboarding stuff, was looking to put together a skate video, and he was like, well, I have all this random footage and I have my skate part too, like, we should try to make it all work together. So that's kind of how it all went. But it was just random.
That's amazing.
Yeah, random filming from all over the years. Like there's stuff in there where I was like 11 years old and I shaved my head bald on the top and then went up to the the Denny's, you know, because I was like, oh, I wanted to get a senior citizen discount, so I shaved the head bald and put Phil's clothes on and went and did it. And it was like just stupid shit when you're a little kid, you know, but just little bits like that and all those little things. I remember the antiquing thing that like Brandon came up with.
Who edited that stuff?
Bam.
Bam did.
Yeah. He got into editing, and I think he did some editing with Rob Erickson or something. The first one, I think he had some help from him.
I just wouldn't think he
Todd
would have
Swag
the patience to editing. I hate it, you know. I can't sit there and watch that stuff over and over and over.
Yeah.
I just can't picture him doing it. But
he did.
The product's there.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like that thing with like ADHD where you can get hyper focused, but if they're telling you to pay attention to something you're not into, you can't.
Yeah.
But if you're like into it, you get hyper focused, and he'll do that. He would just all night long. I talked about it a little bit on the last one, like that with that Kiki thing that we did with the cat. Him and I just I sat there on the couch while he edited all night, but he just kept adding. We kept like obsessing on it and doing it, and it ended up being something people knew me for. But the whole time we thought, this is not that funny. Like, I don't know, people are gonna think this is funny, and then they ended up loving it. But yeah, he would sit and edit, and I think that sporadic style of edit really was like almost kind of groundbreaking in a way, because it was before YouTube, and now like the mindset is like, hurry up and get to it. Like, it has to happen really fast or we don't want to watch it, you know? And it's sort of like CKY stuff sort of did that. It was like that real fast, crazy, this is happening.
You got to go right into it.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of fun, but I don't think anything will ever happen like that again, just in terms of Rye's gone, and then Brandon has a family and isn't
so he's
filming
married
and stuff. Yeah, married, has a couple kids, and
people always ask questions. I just say the truth. I say he's one of the funniest people I've ever met, but we don't see him. You know.
Yeah,
that's the truth. I wish he did. He's funny as hell.
Dude, he is, and I still see him all the time. I still stay in touch, and when you see he's like funnier than ever now. I think because there's just a freedom again of like not being in the public eye sort of thing. And so there's a freedom again, and you'll go over and he's like, hey, Rab, come check this out. And he'll like have filmed this little skit and you're like, what are you going to do with that? He's like, nothing. And he just like, he like keeps it and collects it all. And
that's like,
it's funny stuff.
Movies and music, you see the persistent people more than the talented people.
Absolutely.
The best musicians are in Michigan and Mississippi, and you'll never see them, you know?
Right.
And the best actors are in North Carolina or wherever, and doing theater and stuff, you'll never, you know?
Right.
You see the yucks like me that come out to Hollywood, you know? And that's just persistence, you know? You just got to keep trying and don't take no for an answer. You know?
Absolutely. I think that, there's definitely some serious truth to it.
If you can't take rejection, stay the hell out of this town.
Yeah, for sure.
It is not for you.
I know, man, because I got it. Like, I did all this, the CKY stuff, did a little bit of Jackass, and then Viva La Bam and that. And, as I would do it, afterwards, I was pitching shows and stuff, and got into development with 2 different ones, and they didn't go. And then, you're feeling that rejection from it, and then trying to do some auditions, and you're getting rejected. And I was like, man, I don't know if I could handle like all this rejection. So I started going into the production side of things and got into the camera department and all that. I'm like, and I'm like, as I go, I'm like, there's still a lot of rejection even in that. It's just less. Like you'll book it more than you would if you're doing, in front of the camera stuff. And that's what I found was it was really hard to make a living and to continue going, being in front of the camera. So it was like go behind the camera. And even that from time to time is hard. The freelance life of like, oh yeah, you got the gig. And they're like, oh, I don't know. They want to go with someone else. And then, and you're like, oh, what was that? Like, you get in your head, like, what was the deal there? And then it's like, oh, it's just solely because they knew the other person and they wanted them there, but you think the whole time like, oh, it must have been, and I remember doing a few auditions and stuff when I lived out here years back, and and I'd be like, oh, I don't know, like I thought I did pretty good or whatever it was, and you're like, no, they just wanted a completely different person, you know, or they had a friend in mind that was going to do the part anyway, and then they just wanted to test it out and see if, you know.
I had an audition for PlayStation Portable, I think it's PSP, like a little handheld thing.
Yeah.
And went in there to audition, and they said, everybody come in, we'll explain to you. And we go in there, and, you know, there's like 12 or 20 of us, or I don't even know how many people. And they're like, okay, they really want to do a Jackass theme on this. They're looking for Jackass type guys. And the dudes in there just elbowing me and stuff. They're like, it's unbelievable. And I didn't get the part. I freaking ended up playing a Jackass guy. It was like, what in the world?
Oh, that's so good.
I was so bummed. I was like, I got this for sure.
But it just shows you how far up their asses their heads are stuck, because it's like the dude from Jackass is right there. And then, we're really looking for a Jackass team. Okay, cool. Well, that's me. and then they just ended up going with somebody else for it. Yeah, that's just crazy, man. It's funny. Like, it's a really hard business, I think, to keep pushing along and doing that. But you seem to be doing it. I mean, you're doing a lot of stand up these days and touring a bunch.
Not for a lot of money, but I can just work endlessly doing stand up. You know? Especially in New York and Long Island, New Jersey. You know, there's so many comedy clubs and stuff. I could just go there and work just endlessly, you know, stay on the road though, but it sucks being on the road.
Yeah, it does get old for sure. I mean, I think about, like, I would see you on the road. We'd be on like a show together in Cancun or wherever it was, or like, you know, those kind of places, like the spring break things. And I'd see you and we'd be on the road together and then going to a couple shows. And man, it gets taxing though, you know, to be on the road that long.
They don't do it anymore. But when the series first came out, they used to do what they call grad break down in Mexico, which is where the first week or two of June, high school seniors, when they graduate, would go down there. And we would go do shows down there, and it was just, you know, 40,000 18-year-olds, which means 20,000 18-year-old girls, you know. Dunn and I would go and pick out girls there were so many girls, we'd go pick out girls that looked like our buddies' girlfriends and get pictures with them to send to our buddies. They're like, that looks like my girlfriend. Target-rich environment.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh.
That's when I saw Dunn in his underpants, and he was wearing Tommy Hilfiger underpants, and it really took me down a notch on that. He's so cool. What is he doing wearing Tommy?
Probably because he got him at TJ
like
Maxx.
Red, white, and blue ones, you know? I was like, Dunn? What?
Dunn? So cool, but not anymore. but no, it's cool, because I'm thinking, you know, with stand-up, you got your start really as a writer, though, right? I mean, like, that was kind of how you got started in everything.
PJ told me about the show and asked me to write him ideas, and I told him this is a horrible idea for a show. It's too violent. I said, you should do a talk show, you know? He's charming as hell.
Yeah.
I said, it'd be great. You should do a talk show, you know, like Letterman or Leno type thing.
Yeah.
He said, well, let's try this, and if it doesn't work, we'll try something else, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So I wrote him ideas, and he said, well, you got to do all of these. And I said, what do you mean do all of these? I said, 5 seconds ago, I was a writer. What do you mean? He goes, no, you got to do these. You got to do these for sure.
Yeah.
But man, we didn't know if this series was going to go anywhere. You know, I thought maybe it'll get on MTV for a couple of episodes, you know, and maybe I can get a candy bar commercial or something. You know, it's anything, you know.
Yeah.
Had no idea it was going to take off like that.
Yeah. So that was the start of it. Like, did you have any like aspirations to want to be in the business at all, or?
Oh yeah, you know, I moved out here from Missouri to be an actor. You know, I wanted to do more like, you know, sitcom type stuff.
Yeah.
Cheers, you know, Taxi were my favorites.
Well, because I think when I first met you was right when Jackass, the show, like the first season, because I had done some bits on the first season of that. And I think I met you maybe at a premiere for it or whatever it was. And I always was confused because I thought like you were on the Andy Dick show or something right in the beginning, right? Or did you write for them, or you did?
No,
I
was just, their office was next to our office. I said, next to the Jackass offices.
Yeah.
And so I saw Andy Dick, and I'm like, put me on your darn show. And he's like, you got it.
Yeah, and he put you on. Yeah. Because I remember seeing you on that, and I was like, wait.
At that point, I was like, Hollywood is easy. Like, what in the world? They're handing out shows left and right. What am I going to do next? You know, jeez. Get me Michael Ovitz on the phone. Let's get this shit going, man. No, I thought I had it all worked out then.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I felt the same way, sort of, because I had no real aspirations of it. I was more like, I just like filming stuff with my friends. And then the CKY stuff started going in skateboard shops and people were digging it. And then it was like, Jeff called up Bam and was like, hey, let's kind of put the team together and make this thing and do this pilot. And then it took off, and then everybody loved it, and I was like, "Oh, this is easy!" Like, it was that feeling of.
I didn't meet Bam until the series was out, and I met him in Florida, and the series was on TV. I was like, "Oh, good to meet you finally."
Because I think I met you shortly after that with it. It was out here though in LA, and like I said, I was confused because I thought you were a cast member of the Andy Dick show, but then you're like, but you were involved with this too, writing all. I thought it was like, maybe he's writing for Andy Dick and he's writing for Jackass and he's in Jackass and he's in Andy Dick. I don't know. So I was confused right in the beginning of it, but it was like, it was cool to see. And then obviously, you took over and took a huge part of, of what Jackass is.
You got to write your own bits because just people aren't going to write it for you. You know?
Yeah.
They're going to write for Steve-O and Bam. They're just, people aren't going to.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. So you just got to write yourself bits.
Yeah. Is there any bits that you wrote that you were like, I don't want to do it, give it to someone?
Tons.
No, I mean, but you originally wrote it. I know you've written tons for the show, but.
Big one was King Kong. I wrote it for Pontius because he always was in a gorilla suit. He's our gorilla.
Yeah.
Always has been. And we get to it, and on set, and they're like, paint Preston up. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? What do you mean? They're like, I'm King Kong, that's Pontius's bit. Like, nope.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, man, because one of the bits with Ryan that I came up with was jumping into that poop plant across the street. And because I was known as the poop guy, I had gotten thrown out of school for shitting on the lockers when I was a little kid, and I was known as that dude. So I said to Bam, I was like, "Oh, dude, you should swim in the poop plant." And he was like, "Oh, would you do that?" I was like, "Ew, no!" and then Ryan's like, "I'll do it," and I was like, "Damn!" And that was like the first, not the first because we had done all the CKY stuff, but you really knew this dude's committed as hell. Like anything that and with the toy car, it's like the stuff that people didn't want to do. He's right on it. I'll do it. You're like, damn, no fear.
They did a promo bit for Jackass World where they had one of the guys poop on I believe it was a globe. And Dave England was so hurt. He's like, but I'm the shit guy. He was just so absolutely, his heart was broken. He was like, they had somebody else poop. And he told me I did that funnel thing. I don't know if you remember that, where I pooped in the funnel with Steve-O with fart mask thing. Yeah. Dave told me that was okay because it was such a good bit that he was okay with me pooping on camera like that. And I said, I don't like it. I said, I hated it. Yeah. I said, you can have this gig, man.
Yeah, he's just comfortable
pooping in front of millions of people. He sits there and smiles while he does it. Horrible.
That's hilarious.
Everybody looks at your poop. Knoxville was like, oh man, that's a beautiful poop, tapered on both ends.
Tapered on both ends.
Matt Hoffman goes, your poop smells like whiskey.
Oh my God, that's nasty.
I always forget he was there. And whenever people will show pictures or poster or whatever that, and he always just saying I can't believe you're proud. Yeah, I can't believe you're proud that you were in that room. He goes, it was great.
Oh man, that's amazing. So I remember, you kind of went off, after the Jackass stuff obviously was the huge hit and all that, but you started to kind of go into doing some movies and stuff. And I remember seeing Lucky Cucumber because you gave me a copy of it when we were on the road. And you wrote and did you direct that or did you?
I co-wrote it, but I got another movie that paid good money, a Christmas movie I shot in Canada at the same time. Yeah. So I actually wasn't able to be on any of the shoots for Lucky Cucumber. I filmed mine by myself, or just a few of us, when I got back from Canada. Yeah. So I didn't have anything to do with that movie, really.
Oh, yeah.
And if you watch the movie, you can tell it started off pretty strong, and then it just turns into a camcorder thing the rest of the way. It's
no, I did watch, and it had the dude Sherman or whatever from the American Pie stuff. And no, it's cool. So then you kind of had an interest though in going in that direction. You said you did another.
Yeah, no, we had a couple of movies there. TV the movie and then Lucky Cucumber, but then in 2008 when the stock market collapsed, all that independent movie money went away. You couldn't get a dime. Where that before that was on the Lucky Cucumber, the budget was $500,000 for that movie, which is funny for Hollywood. And on the very back page of this script, I taped $500,000 candy bars to the back of it. And that guy said he was eating those candy bars when he said, "I'm going to give these guys the money," which I'm sure was a horrible, horrible mistake.
Yeah, exactly. So, what are the plans now? Like, what are you getting into? Are you doing some voice acting stuff, or
just doing stand up? Bit parts in movies every now and then. I did a small part in a Pauly Shore movie.
Oh, hell yeah!
Called Guest House. I filmed a few months ago.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah. It looked really funny. It was Pauly Shore is this guy who lives in these people's guest house, and he's just a full blown derelict.
Yeah.
Which he's a method actor too, and he was in character then 24/7 when I was on that set. Yeah. And it's just like I didn't know how he got away with it because he's in the lunch line and he's like grabbing girls' butts and stuff, and I was like, dude, you're playing with fire here.
Yeah, especially nowadays.
State of California, man, no way. And he's like, "Daddy likes what Daddy sees."
Oh man,
he's funny dude.
Yeah, he is hilarious, and it's crazy because he in his day, like the Weasel and all that stuff, he was the dude. Like it wasn't him grabbing the butts; all the girls were grabbing his ass. Like I remember that back in on MTV back then. Pauly Shore was like the biggest thing on the planet.
But exactly. He's smart because when he does that method, it keeps people from interacting with him as the Weasel and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So they don't do it. They're like, they tell you when you get there, he's in character. Please refer to him as Randy all day.
Yeah.
Don't refer to him as Pauly or anything else. And he's smart to do that because that way he doesn't have to sit there and field, all those MTV questions and stuff all the time.
Yeah. It must get tough, I think, because that kind of eclipses a lot. But so are you buds with him? Is that like how you got into the thing?
No.
How did you get involved with it?
The director, Sam Macaroni, directed that movie. He's the same director from Lucky Cucumber and TV the movie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And so he's been going on directing a bunch of...
that's it. He had he presented the YouTube Awards for Best YouTube Video and stuff. Like, he's doing well.
Okay.
Really well. Right now he has a contract for virtual reality television.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a camera with like 30 like screens all over, not screens, but lenses all over, all the way around.
So he's doing the VR stuff. Yeah, that's really cool. Nice. And so what are your plans in terms of the stand up? Are you hoping to kind of build up to do like a special thing, or is it more just...
I don't know if it's just, it's been so long. I don't think anybody wants to see me do a special with,
I do.
Jackass, a bunch of Jackass stories and stuff.
Yeah, so is that kind of...
It's really what it is. It's mixing some fat jokes and stuff too.
Yeah.
But it's mainly just that's just because we don't live normal lives at all.
Right. Yeah.
So I just talk about the sex with farm animals and stuff.
That's awesome. Did you went on a tour with the rest of the guys, like Pontius and them at one point? Yeah.
We did 2 tours in Australia and then one in Canada.
Yeah.
Which is all were great. Yeah.
And how was that? You have some stories from that?
Oh man, I think we did 27 cities in Australia.
Oh shit.
Yeah. No, we've seen more of Australia than most Australians will ever get to,
Yeah.
Which in Australia and Canada are basically the same place. Everybody's nice. It's pretty the same thing.
Yeah. One's hot, one's cold.
Yep.
Yeah. How about any what is England's drunk guy? Is it Darth or something?
Darth, yeah.
Yeah.
He was told not to show up on that trip, and he never did.
He never showed up. Oh, good.
Oh, he didn't know. He did. Australia did. That's what I'm referring to. But he did. Darth did come to Canada, and him and Aaron got into it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. He's like he sort of told the story and kind of walked away from it.
Yeah. They. We were, in the merchandise line selling merchandise and stuff, and Dave got all darfed up and he started writing on Aaron's face. And then when Aaron would try to sign something, Dave would hit his elbow, and make him mess up his thing. Yeah. So Aaron just started punching him.
Oh shit!
Full blown. There's 2 guys who shouldn't be fighting got into a fight, and security didn't know what to do. They were asking us what to do, and I didn't even realize it.
Meanwhile, there was like a dust ball of fighting.
There was a camera on me too, and I'm just sitting there laughing the whole time. Like I just sat there, hold my stomach, just just busting up laughing at the entire thing.
Yeah.
It was so funny. And Dave was like, I will fucking kill you.
Oh, so it got like serious.
Oh, yeah. And we had to break it up. I mean, 5 minutes later, they were hugging and kissing. And then, we've been bros too long, bro.
We've been bros. I love you, bro.
And then, but while that was going on, somebody stole a box of Wee Man's T-shirts, merchandise out of the van or truck, or what do you call it, truck and trailer thing, RV and trailer thing. And we were like, oh, man. And the guy, the promoter there, he's like, I'll get your shirts back. And we're like, you ain't getting those back. He goes, this is Canada, watch. And he put a thing on Facebook pleading for someone to return. And sure as shit, someone brought back those bag of shirts. We're like, man, in
Some
America.
super nice person.
Oh, in America, no freaking way.
No way, yeah.
Gone, man.
Yeah.
No way. Brought back Wee Man shirts.
So we're sorry about that. Here you go. That's cool. So any plans for some tours with that stuff coming up? Or?
Yeah. The last one I heard bounced around was Brazil.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, apparently Jackass still has a really big following in Brazil.
Oh, whoa.
Which is surprising, but...
Yeah, we went down there one time on Viva La Bam we did maybe an episode or two down there. Bob Burnquist, the skateboarder, basically brought us down and showed us all around Rio and Sao Paulo, and it was pretty incredible to be able to see it from him, because he grew up there. And just to take us around, but it's pretty gnarly there. Like, in the favelas and these other areas, it's pretty crazy kind of country where, rich and then poor. And it's sort of like in some of those areas.
That's like India. We just stayed in big groups the whole time, never less than like 20 people together.
Yeah. My wife is her dad's from Bombay in India. And so we went over for a trip too. And that was cool because we do have like cousins and all that stuff there. So we get to, kind of get the first class treatment of know exactly where to go, where not to go, this and everybody speaks the language. So they kind of show us all through there. But yeah, that's a crazy country.
Left pretty much everything I could in India over there, just to give the people, and I forgot something in my room and I went back, and those housekeeper guys were dividing up the stuff that I left there for them. And they had a can of raviolis, and they were looking at it and holding each other. I could just tell they're having a discussion over what the fuck was in that can with that Italian chef on there, trying to figure out. I laughed so hard. And I wondered, I didn't speak their language or anything, but I always wondered what happened with that. If they took it home and had the missus open that up.
Yeah. There better be like mutton in there, not beef. Yeah.
There's no pictures of cows or anything on the outside.
Oh, dude, it was so funny too, though, because when I was there, we were there for a month, and so you're eating Indian food for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and this, and I'm thinking to myself, like, when you're in America, you're very lucky and blessed with the array of any type of food that you want to have. I mean, you can have Italian tonight, Thai tomorrow, Chinese the next day, and then an Indian on the next day. But there, it was like Indian food, and they were like, you want to get some Chinese food? And then when they did, it was just Indian Chinese food, like it wasn't actual Chinese food. So I went to the McDonald's, just sneaking away, trying to get. I was like, I need to get something to just get rid of, not have Indian food for one meal. And I go in there, and then I look up, and it's like, oh yeah, I forgot. There's no burgers or any. It's like mutton burgers and whatever. I got chicken nuggets, which ended up being incredible. They're like the best chicken nuggets I've ever had in my life over there. But you got a little chicken nugget right there on your lap.
Did somebody say food?
Man, that dog loves you. That's cool. But yeah, so any crazy stuff over there while you're in India?
Yes and no. That was when Aaron did the bed of nails.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't know what they were doing. Like, the secret to a bed of nails trick is to have the nails really close together.
Oh,
and
yeah.
There's about 4 inch space between everyone.
Yeah. That's crazy. So then did he get he got poked with it or whatever?
Some punctures.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole secret. Man, there's got to be some crazy stories from just all the travels and stuff. I mean, you've got to feel lucky for having. I feel that way for having been able to travel the world because of just doing stupid shit.
I really enjoyed showing my grandma my passport with all those different countries and stuff on there, and like in the one in Japan, the visa said entertainer,
Yeah.
and she was like, your grandfather occupied Japan, in 1945.
Oh, yeah.
And there you come back there,
That's crazy.
Gross out comic.
Yeah.
Like, what a triumphant return.
Entertainer. Well, that term is always so funny because I like sometimes I'll write that for people for like the episode, and it's like it immediately sounds like male entertainer or like stripper or like you don't know like that word is a funny word because when you say entertainer it's like, well, what are you really doing? But it's hard to kind of classify what Jackass is. It's comedy obviously, but
immunizations too, you're like been inoculated for like Yangtze fever, all this strange stuff. They're like, what is this? Like, have you been on the Nile?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
You gotta cover all the bases.
Did you ever get like sick in a foreign country or anything? Or?
We were all sick
in India. Yeah. I got that too.
But just because, like you were saying, though, I ate all the Indian food I could eat. I was happy to be there and stuff, so I didn't hesitate to eat and drink and just have had fun. We filmed in Bollywood. That was just amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Remember that dude with the world's longest fingernails was there?
Oh yeah.
And we filmed with him where they poured beer down those nasty, nasty, dirty fingernails, and Steve-O drank it. And it was so disgusting. And they had to give our producers had to give him $250,000 cash deposit to give him, and then you film, and if something happens to his nails, he gets to keep the money. But if not, they give you back the money at the thing. They had to do an on-set insurance thing there.
Yeah.
It was so gross. They were so filthy, dirty, and they had the Bollywood dancer girls there, and they were throwing up.
They were throwing up when he was drinking it.
You could tell that this bit is not going
they're grossed out.
Poor guy's hand was all atrophied and stuff from years of that.
He just never, because I feel like if I didn't cut my nails, they would just break off.
Google it and look him up, man. Just world's longest. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's crazy. So he just never cut them?
That's how he makes his living.
Yeah. I mean, like, I wonder how long that would take to grow them. Like,
years and
just
years
forever.
and years,
Yeah, it's crazy because, it's that reminded me of Rake Yan because you remember Rake Yan? He's got like that wild, crazy hair. And I would be like, oh, like, did you get a haircut? He's like, no, I never cut my hair. It just breaks off at some certain point, and it stays the same length because it's so ratty that it just ends up breaking off. But he never has to get a haircut. But if you see him now, he's almost got full gray, white, crazy scientist, like mad scientist hair, and he's the scientist.
Yeah,
Still,
I like him a lot. He's always nice to me. Always was nice to me.
Yeah, he's rad. Just don't bring mustard around him. Yeah. So
we were at Cat in the Fill, a British place, and I got bangers and mash, and I was slathering that spicy mustard on my thing, and he's like, "You're grossing me out, Preston." I said, "That's not an act." I said, "That's not shtick," and he goes,
no.
It was just so serious.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. The same thing with Don Vito, rest in peace, is that when we got to film with him, I was like, this isn't an act at all.
No.
This is, oh my God, this is a real deal.
Yes.
I was like, wow.
100%.
Yeah, we did that human popper knocker bit. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where they lined us all up.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
like the pendulum thing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bam and I's ankles collided on that, and I still get a little pain from that.
Oh, shit. Did you break it or chip it
I don't know,
something?
chipped it or something.
Yeah.
It's just one of those, just happened to hit just right ankle to ankle,
Yeah. Those are the craziest, I think, because those kind of injuries, like, they don't look as bad, but then you're like, for some reason, that thing is sticking around.
Yeah, and it's just like when you're a kid, you laugh when the old people say, oh, this weather's got my aches and pains, and it's like so true.
Yeah.
Cold, wet morning, you're like, damn.
Yeah.
All the old, it's a human wrecking ball there. Oh, human bowling ball.
Oh man, yeah. So how did that human wrecking ball thing come up? You wrote that for yourself?
Oh yeah. But that's back when they used to give us protective suits. They used to give me a big padded suit for that. They'd never do that now. Yeah. Now they put me in a leotard.
Yeah, there's no fun. That's no fun if you're not getting hurt, right?
Yeah.
I know, man. You would think like as you're getting older and doing it more, you're like you get smarter, but actually quite the opposite.
My dumbest move on Jackass was when they did the the invite, a triangle Valentine, where the boxing glove comes out of the wall, and I walked by there when they were sawing the hole into the wall, and my dumbass did not even pick up on it.
Yeah.
And Dimitri said when I walked up there, they were like, he's faking, and then started whispering, he's not faking. But everybody else was so good, and they didn't come out and get me good enough to make it,
Yeah.
to make it work.
But you were not close enough.
Yeah, I wasn't close enough.
But you really had no clue. It's so
and they were like,
funny.
but you saw us drilling the hole. I was like, I was just walking down the hallway,
Yeah, like, I didn't pay attention.
You don't pay attention to stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I know. And that is what some of the funniest stuff is that, like, there's so much going on around you all the time. How could you possibly pay attention or know what the plan is to get you? You know,
that darn Rocky, you just feel cold water, and you're like, uh-oh.
Here it is.
As soon as you feel that cold water, you know it's coming. You're like, oh, shit. And that little fucker can punch, too.
Yeah.
Bam's got a good arm on him. His mom said he was a really good baseball player, and I bet he was.
Bam?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jess, too. His older brother was good. Well, it was funny because Phil was telling the story of Bam with baseball, because Phil was a really good baseball player, like real good in like high school and stuff, and always hitting home runs or whatever. And so I was on one of the teams with Phil as a coach, and Bam and Jess and me, and he said one time he looks over and Bam's just like off, like staring off into something. He's like, "What are you doing? Like, you're not paying attention." And he's like, "Oh, I was just thinking about this trick, like this skate trick that he was trying to land or whatever." And he was like, "Man, you got to just focus on skateboarding." Like, because that's what Phil said. He's like, at that point, I knew, like, he's like, he played baseball for a good long time, but he's like, but I knew, like, we needed to just focus all on the skateboarding, because that's all he was thinking about it.
Yeah.
He's at a baseball game, like, staring off, like, oh, that one handrail that I could have went down like this or like that, you know. But so then he went full into skateboarding after that. But yeah, he was a decent baseball player, and we all played together. And Jess had a good arm. He was a pitcher for a while, and yeah, so it's crazy growing up, you know, together and doing all
Still
that.
think of those guys as jocks, you know?
Yeah, you don't. Yeah. No, I know. Well, it's funny because we never were, you know. I mean, it was sort of like, you know, the kids that never wanted to bring the gym outfit to gym class and that stuff, and you're like, I just want to go do whatever. But all athletic, it just was like not interesting. It wasn't as interesting as skateboarding or Jess playing drums or going out and, you know, trying, like, you know, riding bikes or whatever else was just more interesting. And snowboarding.
Those drummers, that's why they get in trouble with the drugs, is because they get on that speed, you know, and just drum like they never drummed before. And they're this is great. You know? Next thing you know, you don't have any teeth. And
Whoops.
whole different ball game there.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Well, lucky for Jess, it was just Yingling. He likes a nice Yingling lager, that beer from Pennsylvania or whatever.
I like it too.
Yeah, but he never got into that other hard shit. But man, yeah, hell of a drummer, and he's still touring, doing a bunch of different music and stuff like that. But
yeah, I follow him on Twitter. He's funny.
Yeah,
I like his tweet.
I'm just thinking, man, there's so many years of awesome stuff. I mean, there's 3 movies, there's a TV show, there's just like funny bits throughout all the years, and you've been in some of the funniest ones. For me, obviously, you know, I'm just like, I'm a fan as well as having been involved, but when you know, come out of the porta potty, or when Wee Man comes out of the porta potty after you go in, and those kind of bits, and you wrote those, like, you know, you wrote all that kind of stuff. Do you have a favorite thing?
Well, big one was I guess it would be the number 3 closer, where the big wall of water came in.
Yeah.
And also, which is relevant now because of Rip Taylor was in it too, you know. And I don't know why, but they had Jeff was wearing a pink bikini that day.
Yeah.
And it was just so surreal. And that water came in, and I think it was 400,000 gallons of water or something like that. Just a giant thing of water, and just washed us all away. And we were all in such a good mood, and the spirits were high. And everybody had their arms around each other. It was really an emotional high for us. But small bits, there's a bit where a catnip bit where they put catnip on Pontius's penis.
Yeah.
They had him stick it in a hole, and they tried to get a cat excited. And it was so disturbing. And we were just sitting there watching it like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
And that's when they always tell us not to sing any songs because they have to buy them and stuff. So I started a Beatles song. So we all started singing Beatles songs in there because we knew they'd kill the bit because they were not about to purchase a Beatles song.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
that.
So what was going, like, was the cat getting crazy?
It just kind of got lovingly on it, you know. I think they thought it would be more of a pawn it and stuff, you know, and playing with it.
Yeah.
Instead, it was just like,
man.
Hi, Chris. And he's like, and you know, Wee Man's like, this is weird.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, it's feeling really erotic.
Yeah, there's just, gosh, there's just so many bits, though, just to go back over them and think, you know.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I always hate this dumb question that people ask me as well. But like, have you ever gotten real like hurt from some of the stuff, or you just aches and pains?
Yeah, on what's it called? Human bowling ball. I went down over the edge of that ramp and I landed on a concrete support structure under the water, and I broke my rib. And which there's no underwater cameras or anything, you know. And I had to do it again with a damn broken rib. They're like, just quit being a pussy. Get up there and do it. You ain't hurt, you know.
Yeah.
And so then I got back to L.A. and I started hurting, and I think it was like, man, I might even be having a heart attack or something. You'll get this all inflamed there, you know? Yeah. So I told my girlfriend, I said, take me to the doctor. And I went in there and I said, yeah, and they gave me EKG and said, you're nothing, your heart's fine. You're not having any type of thing there. He goes, have you been involved in any like blunt trauma lately? And the nurse goes, he's on Jackass. And the doctor's like, well, what is Jackass? She goes, it's this crazy show where they do stunts and stuff. Yeah. And he goes, are you here to get pills? And I said, no, I'm here to fix my freaking ribs, man. And he goes, here's the deal. He goes, Preston, I'm going to give you one Vicodin, and I want you to take it. And then if you're still in this much pain, come and see me tomorrow, and I will give you one more pill of Vicodin. I'm like, okay, you know, I didn't know what the hell he was talking about, you know. Yeah. He just thought I was in there trying to get some, you know, pain pill thing going on.
It's so funny. Any of the other ones, or myself or whatever, would have definitely been there for the pills, but you not so much. Not that guy. That's hilarious. Are you here for the pills?
Yeah, no, geez.
Man, you know what's so funny about those things? I have a story where I tied a rope to a bike and then tied it to the tree and then rode it as fast as I could until, you know, the rope yanks it and then you flip over the handlebars. And that reminded me when you said you broke your rib and then they're like, all right, do it again, because it was the worst thing. I ride the bike, I flip over the thing, and I ate it so hard and it looked great on footage. Like, yeah, that's the one. And then Bam's like, let's do one more for safety. And I always hated that phrase of like, do one more for safety. And I'm like, all right, like it looked good, whatever. So I go and I ride again. I ride full blown. I'm like, I'm going to do it right. And I flip over the handlebars, separate my shoulder.
Oh, shit.
And they were like both, there was like 3 cameras. They were like, oh, the first one was better. Like we got it on the first one. I'm like, you fucking assholes. I had to go do it again. And I told you got it on the first one because it looked good. But on the second one, I separate my shoulder and they didn't use that one. And you're like, you know, like how many of those times does that happen? Do it again for safety. And you're like, but the first one was good. Like, let's just
I did that,
move on.
A kissing booth where they had the volleyball with the rubber bungees on it.
Yeah.
Hit you in the face. Oh, man, it hurt like hell. And filmed it, and Steve-O stepped in front of the camera right before they did it.
Oh!
And they're like, got to do it again. I'm so sorry. You know, Steve was like, I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh, what the hell was he doing? He just wasn't paying attention.
So I had to, man, that hurt. I mean, it was like the biggest, strongest fist punching you in the face. Just
yeah.
Man, your eyes are watering. Oh, it hurt so bad.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's great.
That was a big day. That was the same day that I did the human field goal. Oh, and then Bam rockied me that day. I had 3 concussions that day.
3 concussions that day?
Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, 3 concussions. But we also got to film, though, with Jared Allen, the football player and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we played football with him. I tried to block him and stuff. It was like, this is amazing, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was cool.
So did he hit hard?
PJ hard. He hit Knoxville hard.
Yeah, but you didn't have to take any of that? Yeah.
He told me, though, he goes, you got a piece of me. He goes, I didn't think you would.
Yeah.
I tried. I think he's so fast, you know?
Yeah.
Just ran like a deer, you know?
Yeah. So what are some of your favorite stuff that like did you write some bits for other guys that you were like that turned out great or whatever?
Yeah, I've written bits for everybody, but I mean mainly more for just like Wee Man and I, you know.
Yeah.
And Pontius, Pontius is fun to write bits for.
Yeah, what it always involves is penis.
And then for some reason they put me in a lot of Pontius's penis bits. I don't know why.
You wrote yourself right into it.
He's got a helicopter attached to his penis. Why is it necessary for me to be standing there next to him?
Yeah. That's great.
What about Terror Taxi? Got anything for that?
Terror Taxi?
Yeah, Terror Taxi is a bit that I wrote. It's the only 11-minute bit in the history of Jackass.
Yeah.
And I actually got it from Team America World Police.
Yeah.
If you remember that movie where they had the CIA decorated that guy up or dressed the guy up like a terrorist, and it was just like shoe polish and
Yeah.
And I was like, man, we should do that. That'd be a funny prank we could do to one of the guys. And it was me and Jeff and Steve-O happened to be there at Jeff's house when I was pitching this idea. And I said, no one will do that though. Everybody, no one's dumb enough to do it. And Steve was like, Aaron will. He totally bit into a hook, line, and sinker. He rented all these like terrorist movies and was getting his accent down and everything. It's getting into character. It was just amazing.
Well, so and the concept was that he was going to, go through the whole bit for me.
We're gonna send him to the airport with a suicide vest on.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a taxi driver pull a gun on him. Halfway, and because you can't go to the airport with a suicide vest on, which is something he never questioned once, which always just amazed me that he never once said, what the heck am I going to do when I step out of a taxi at Burbank Airport dressed as a terrorist with a suicide vest?
Yeah.
They'll blow your head off. They'll shoot you. He never once even thought about it. He's like, let's go.
Did not think that through. God damn.
And it was all, we had the police in on everything there because it was so, it was a big thing.
You better have.
But then, of course, a man and a woman in a Volkswagen Jetta got between our camera truck and between that taxi. And they're like, oh my God, there's something going on here. There's a guy in a terrorist outfit and a taxi driver has a pistol on him. And they're like, it's okay. They're filming a prank. They're like, what?
Yeah.
They drew a circle around the airport on a map. And they said, if you cross this line, you're done. And they'll probably never ever be able to film again. That serious of a thing. And so we were like, no way,
Yeah, obviously.
And that was the thing, too, is just make sure that the taxi, which was Jay Chandrasekhar from Super Troopers, make sure he doesn't accidentally drive in that zone,
Yeah. So then, as it all goes down, where did the pube?
And we were like, let's make him a beard. And so we got to do that out of, pubes. So we had the day Aaron was practicing and rehearsing, we did around and had everybody go and do it. I mean, guys and girls and everything. They shaved my butt and put some of that on there. And there was some crabs in there and stuff.
Oh, man.
And then
there was what? For real?
Yeah. And then Hoffman.
Who did that come from?
I don't know, but I'm not Matt Hoffman. But listen, Hoffman pulls down his pants and has the biggest, thickest 70s bush in the world.
Yeah.
And the clippers bogged down. They got on Hoffman's bush. It's like, and he's like, yeah, it grows thick. And then Steve-O had gotten hurt on a luggage cart thing, but he's like, I want to be in it. So he comes limping out like an old veteran, all sore and limping up and pulls his pants down. He's hurting him and shave his down. But the hair and makeup lady, she took that hair and she put it in a box that you would buy Hollywood hair in. Yeah. And she, shrink wrapped it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Into
right.
A hair
so
dryer.
It looked legit.
And I was sitting there, and the second he saw her peel that plastic off, hooked.
Yeah.
Because he was like, it's what do you mean? It's wrapped in plastic.
Yeah, it's legit.
And it was just red and different colors and shit.
There's butthole hairs.
Wait, that's a little done. There's some ginger in there.
Yeah. Dude, because the butthole hair is the worst. Everybody maybe not Matt Hoffman, but most people trim a little bit around the dick area, but the butthole, that gets neglected, and that sick ass hair has been in there for years.
Aaron started asking then who all's it was. was. And he just kept saying names, and every name was like, yeah, it was Preston, and we meant to. And I'm like, Aaron, it was everybody. It was nobody.
Yeah. It's no single person. It was the whole bit.
And you go back and look at that, he's just licking his lips. And
Yeah, that was a good
Bam and
bit.
I are just dying during that entire thing. We just couldn't believe it. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it just happened, you know? We must have elbowed each other 8 million times. Like, he's doing, he's right.
Oh
he's
man.
fine.
Well, yeah, doesn't he? He tries to pretend like he knew what was going on.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
like he had all that fun. And Jay Chandrasekhar asked Spike, you know, exactly what to do, and Spike said, "Take that gun and smack him in the head with it."
Oh shit! Yeah. Damn. Yeah, that's gnarly. So that's one of the more crazy ones.
Yeah,
but
that one was big.
That's cool to know that you sort of like when you saw Team America, you kind of it made the wheels start turning of like dress up, you know, or somebody like that and do that.
Yeah.
It's because I love those guys too. The Trey Parker and Matt Stone stuff. I was just, they're genius and
I had the same attorney as entertainment attorney, not legal attorney as Matt Stone, and I was waiting in there in the office to see the guy one day, and Matt Stone came in to pick up $1 million check there from the receptionist.
Yeah.
And she hands it over, and she's like, "Wow, there's your $1 million check." You know, and he goes, "How would you like to have dinner with me tonight?" And she goes, "I would love that."
yeah.
I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
He just picked up $1 million and bagged a date with this girl. Like, wow, holy moly! Good to be a South Park guy.
Yeah. It's not hard to get a date when you're picking up $1 million check. So do you are you still writing stuff for any films or anything like that, or mostly just writing stand-up
Yeah,
stuff?
we're always writing Jackass bits, you know.
Oh, you are, yeah,
You'll
yeah.
never ever stop. I think last time I looked on there, I had 156 ideas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and about 20.
Just in case.
Oh, yeah, and about 20 of them are ideas I never should have ever written.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
You know,
just kind of force a habit. You just keep writing those.
Well,
kind
you
of
want
concepts.
you want it to be the best it can possibly be, so
Yeah.
you write yourself into trouble. You know.
Yeah.
Things that you seem like a good idea aren't a good idea.
Yeah, I know. Well, I got to imagine that over the years, all the stuff you've written, like there's got to be some hit and misses and some things that you thought would have been the bigger thing and it never made it, and then or you never even filmed it. Like, are there stuff like that you have?
Yeah, I had an idea where I wanted to screw a 2x4 to a pair of tennis shoes and put a trolling motor on it, and then put on the shoes, and with a bubble wrap thing, and have a human boat.
Oh,
and
yeah,
have
yeah.
Wee Man, and then we towed a cooler with a battery in it, and had Wee Man drive it around, and which I thought was just brilliant.
Yeah.
Wee Man driving a freaking human boat, but it just didn't work. And we filmed also the Fatamaran with that day too, with Cossack and I were each pontoons on a boat with a flat thing, with tethers together, and a guy sailing it, which was a funny concept, but it just didn't work.
Yeah.
Stuff like that you think is going to work, and then you're just, we're doing it, we're just laughing so hard. It's like, this has got to work. It's just ridiculous. you know?
Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's two guys being a Hobie cat,
Yeah.
Some of it works. Some of it just got to, keep filming. That's all you can do.
Nice.
No, we all hope there's another Jackass movie. There's rumors about it, but I don't know. They'll call the caterer before they call me.
Yeah.
I'm like way down.
Somebody's
on the list.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm sure people will always.
You would probably
wanna
see
it.
a blurb about Brad Pitt being in it before they would even call me.
Yeah. Well, that guy's
signing up guest stars before they even my
he's
phone
sexy.
rings.
I mean, he's everybody wants to hear about that. I watched that new Quentin Tarantino movie, and that dude is still on a roof like 55 years old or whatever the heck he is, and he's like sexy as hell. You're like, God damn, he's still in incredible shape. These days, you're like, just not fair.
Film Shaq did a punk rock music video.
Yeah.
Then he had us in it, and we filmed with him. It was fun, but he bullied me.
Shaq did?
Shaq bullies me. He called me Prestina, and he said I'm a sissy, and he kept pinching my nipples with his giant man hands.
Oh, man.
I was like, what the hell? This giant 7-foot-tall bully. Freaking Shaq bullied me. I said, what the hell? And that was the last thing he said to me was he pinched my titty, and he goes, see you later, Prestina. Like, damn. What the hell? My bully is 7'4"?
Yeah. My bully.
What in the world?
We're each assigned one. You got the giant.
God,
Yeah.
crush you. Just nothing.
That's
I'm
so
like,
funny.
good to see you, Shaq.
Yeah, that's
All right.
hilarious.
He would just say random stuff out there, and we'd do it.
He's a funny dude,
He'd
man.
say, Steve-O, will you put this banana in your butt and skateboard? And Steve was like, you got it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, I worked with Shaq before on something, and he was a really funny dude. I mean, I kind of knew that he would be, but yeah, I was surprised at how funny he was.
One of his cohorts was trying to get Steve-O to sign with his management company, not Shaq's management company, but that guy's management company. And he was like, Steve-O, I can get you $5,000 cash today. And Steve-O was like, well, this is a $25,000 watch.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that. It was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, how did you meet Cossack over here?
I had worked with Johnny Knoxville's ex-wife, and kind of got to know him through that, and became kind of buddies and stuff. And he was writing for Big Brother then, and he asked me to come on a thing he was writing, and it was writing an article on Gwar, the band.
Yeah.
Gwar, and Cossack was filming that.
Nice.
And so we went down, I don't remember where it was, in Anaheim or something,
Yeah.
and went down there to a go-kart track and filmed with the Gwar guys.
Oh, hell
And
yeah.
that was the first day that we ever met or hung out or anything.
Nice. So that was way back in the Big Brother days.
There was a family down there just coincidentally, and there was a little girl driving one of those go-karts, and she started looking at one of those Gwar dudes and just walled it. Just T-boned it. I remember that. Just T-boned it into a wall and just gasp. Just like,
Oh, man.
everybody's like, are you okay? And she's like, ah!
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I know. I imagine if you see a guy from Gwar just standing there, it would be kind of alarming.
For a little 5-year-old girl.
So you had moved out to LA to kind of get involved in this
Yeah.
stuff, and then through
I just thought I'd move to California and try it. I didn't think I would do anything or get anything, but I was sure going to try it and go back to Missouri anytime,
Yeah.
and not miss anything, and just worked hard enough and got lucky enough.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I made it. I didn't make anything, but I mean to get some work. In
exactly.
Freaking Tinseltown.
And then you're back out in Missouri. I mean, you
I
lived here
just
for a little while, right?
I lived here for 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I lived out here for 20 darn years.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be out now.
Yeah, back in the more mellow place.
And most places, places that hire you will put you up in a hotel anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
So and just don't have to pay $1,500 a month rent.
Yeah.
That
You'd be
rent
lucky
is-
if you could pay
yeah.
that. Nowadays, it's
Rent-
way
oh
more
yeah,
than
no,
that.
that's my crappy studio apartment, which was $1,500 a month. When I moved out, they remodeled it, and it goes for $3,700 now.
Yeah.
It's a studio apartment. It's the size of this room.
Yeah.
It's like $3,700.
It's insane. Yeah.
I don't know how people do it. I got a girlfriend, and she's got it. I'm a family guy now.
Yeah, hell yeah.
freaking-
That's amazing. Yeah, and I was hearing a little bit about.
Family chauffeur,
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Kids around. And live in a small town, like 10,000 people.
Yeah. No, that's nice too. I think at this point in life, it's nice to kind of go to that small town little thing. Well, we're happy that you're out here visiting, and I got to catch up with you and bullshit a little bit.
The little town police department there asked me to do a comedy show to help them raise some money for some safety equipment in the police department, and they don't realize how dirty my stand-up is. So I just said, no, I can't do it right now. I'm busy. And I gave them some money. And so now I'm like the local hero down there. It's really funny.
Oh, yeah,
All
yeah.
the cops wave and smile. Hi, Preston. How you doing?
Yeah.
I told my girlfriend, I was like, we just bought some freedom.
Yeah. Yep. It's good to buy that once in
they're,
a while.
they're nice. But it's a small town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's very, very little crime there.
Yeah,
People
exactly.
leave their doors open and stuff.
Yeah, that's nice too, and it's nice when you're able to help, and put together something so it's helping other people. That's pretty cool.
But God forbid, if something that, crazy would go into one of those schools or something, I'd be glad that I helped,
Yeah.
I don't mean to make it all dark like that.
Yeah.
I just find that gave cops money.
Yeah. No, well, shit, it gets crazy nowadays. Well, dude, thanks for coming out and hanging out. And
Thanks,
chatting.
man. I hope I gave you some information or whatever.
Dude, a lot of funny stuff. A lot of great stories over the years, and fingers crossed that people obviously would love to see another one. I know there's a chance that'll happen, but
it's an amazing thing when people ask you at the airport, and that's all everybody wants to ask you.
Yeah.
The audience is out there. Like
Yeah.
I said, it ain't my decision. It was my decision. We'd be filming right now.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I'm the freaking seventh banana on a gross out comedy franchise. So if we're lucky enough to do another one, thank you God. Let's rock and roll. If not, we sure had a good run.
Yeah. Cool.
We made a little bit of money and we got a lot of pussy.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, right?
And scene.
Yeah.